Welcome back to another Killer Clowns from Outer Space, the game video. Today, we're taking time out of Nick's recovery from his surgery, which is why he's, in his bed on his
Yeah,
ass.
yeah.
Yeah, but you're still taking the time, making it happen. We had the opportunity to play a short demo of Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Got to jump into some games with devs, play a little bit of clowns, play a little bit of humans. Only on one map, only got to try out Carnival. Now, this video, I don't want so much to be us explaining how to play. They've done that. They did a devoted stream on kind of what to expect in your gameplay experience, but there are some like abilities you want to talk about and how they work, and really just what was the experience like. That's what we'll go through. Was it good? Was it bad? As the guys who played a lot of ASIM games at this point, we got a little bit of a, I don't know, a radar for this at this point. It's going to
Yeah.
work or it's not going to work. I guess if you haven't heard of anything for Killer Clowns, just a quick run through. It's a 3v7 game, 3 clowns versus 7 humans. Humans, their goal is to escape the map. There's 4 options for escaping. There's a bunker where you find gas and you find a key card, and then 3 people can escape through there. There's a teleporting tool, you to rebuild the machine, and you teleport through the hole as long as somebody holds it open. There is a boat, 3 people. You find a fuse, you find gas, you can take a boat out, 3 people can escape that way. And then there is a bridge where if you get the key, you open that up, break down this barrier. You can then run across the bridge and escape. But as more people run across it, the bridge will break. So it's limited how many people can escape through there. Clowns have handful of abilities that they can use. Things like an LOL ability that gives you speed and health boost. You have Jumbo's ability and his ability to lure in humans using his little finger. You've got things like popcorn guns and your cotton candy ray guns you could use to trap humans, things like that. And we'll talk more about that lately, but or later about how all this kind of balances its way out and how it is going one on one with humans. But uh, moral of the story: you're trying to kill humans. That's that. There's both sides have the ability to be resurrected. Clowns come back automatically. You die, you come back in 45 seconds. If you're a human and you die, there is one resurrecting machine on the map, and you can be used one time and it brings all humans back. So if you decide you want to use it when only one human dies, rather than when 5 are dead or something like that, and that's it. That one human comes back and never going to be touched again the rest of the game. So it was a quick, very fast run through. One big piece of this puzzle, and this is something probably the thing I'm most nervous about in terms of like clown players getting frustrated quickly. This game shouldn't be competitive. It didn't feel competitive. I think that was really important. Um, we didn't win really all out. We never won all out at any of the games we played. There was
Mhm.
not a full human massacre or there wasn't a full human escape or anything like that. It just didn't matter.
Yeah.
You just play the game. It
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
it's definitely a breath of fresh air compared to the the competitiveness of these other ASIM games out there.
Yeah, and I just it comes down to whether or not that's going to be a thing across the community. If we're able to accept that as a community that it's going to be rare to get all humans out, but at the same time it's going to be rare to kill all 7 humans, I'm thinking. And the one piece of the puzzle I think is going to be really frustrating for clown players that do want to be ultra competitive is at the end if you're trying this whole time you're waiting on the clown apocalypse to happen, and the clowns have the ability to take cocoons from across the map or players that you're putting in cotton candy cocoons, fill up these cocoon generators, and once you fill them all up, you spawn AI lackeys that kind of go around and search the map for you. But you start the clown apocalypse sooner, and during that, you have a 30 seconds, one last shot at escaping. Think about it as like the hatch in Dead by Daylight, but where the Terenzi brothers show up in their ice cream truck, they burst through a wall, and you run to them. And if you get to them in that 30 seconds, you automatically escape.
Yeah, and that doesn't shut off the other options. You can still escape if you're right there
Yeah.
at the bridge or the boat, wherever. It's just an additional escape where yeah, at the last second you can get out, and yeah, it only spawns in the last 30 seconds, like the hatch in Dead by Daylight. But yeah, that's really cool addition.
Yeah, the only thing that is a little it is cool. It's like a straight Easter egg right from the movie. It's really cool to have the Trinity brothers in there like that. The only thing that'd be frustrating about it is that the clown apocalypse is going to happen no matter what. It's just a matter of when it happens. Or I mean, technically you could kill everybody, but unlikely. Um, so it's going to happen no matter what. And let's say you kind of held control the whole time. You never let anybody do any of the objectives. You've been able to go around and shut everything down. And then after all that, if you kind of having really strong map control, let's say they get a resurrect at the last second, bring back 6 players, and then all of them can escape through the Terenzi brothers, just like that. Like for really doing nothing.
Yeah.
So I know because the hatch is annoying, right? When you play Gray's the Killer in Dead by Daylight, and one person gets out of the hatch that didn't you feel it didn't deserve to get out to the hatch, that's annoying. If you remember the Dead by Daylight days where it was just keys, lots of freaking keys, and just kind of abusing the system of letting the hatch spawn and using a key. I feel like that's what this is going to feel like to players. Um, so I'm just curious. I don't know how people are gonna feel about that.
Yeah, I mean, it also maybe you don't spawn if it's that close to the clown apocalypse. Maybe you don't spawn close enough to it. So by the time you get over there, they just show
Sure.
up, but there are 3 clowns waiting right there for you. Yeah, that could be, helpful to for balance, but
Yeah.
we don't know. We played 3 games, and 2 of them were tutorial walkthrough type of games.
Yeah. Essentially. Yeah. So I don't know. It's hard to say. In our experiences, because it didn't matter. Like people got out, they got out. It didn't matter. I just can see. I can hear the bitching now. It is all. So we'll see. Um, Now, one of the thing that I think needs to be a little bit more clear because I think you have way more map control than what the gameplay we saw on stream. I think you have way more map control as a clown team than it may appear from that stream. The jump ability, it allows you to basically instantly teleport and have kind of like a ground impact as a clown as long as you have been somewhere, someone on your team has been somewhere on the map, you can then instantly teleport to it and be on a human's ass just like that. Very powerful ability, and it can be used all the time. And it not only does it include your teammates looking at certain parts of the map, but lackeys as well. So if a lackey explores a part of a map that you haven't, you can still jump and teleport over to it.
Yep, exactly. Some people might think, "Oh, do the lackeys? How important are the lackeys? Get them going right away because they can help you find the humans, and then also, yeah, explore that map for you, so you can use that jump ability to its full effect."
Yeah, the lackeys, they're not going to get kills for you. Like they're there, and they technically can jump on humans and actually be a nuisance, but at least from like our experience of playing humans, very easy to avoid. Their big thing is they help you with map control a lot, and that's going to be the key there. Of course, you can put cotton candy on the escapes, make it where humans have to then rip the cotton candy off, and in doing so, they're making noise. So that's I noise the noise is like the key part of tracking. You have the dog tracker ability if you're running that, if you're running like Spiky, you have the ability to track humans, but it's the noise that is the piece of the puzzle. Now, the combat in this game is another part where if you can if you're okay with it, if you can accept the fact that as a clown player, you are going to get killed a lot, it's alright. There's really only, a handful of characters as clowns with their abilities and the items that they can carry that can fight back in a really an effective way. So Jumbo has his mallet. He can fight back pretty well, and you can kinda set humans down. But otherwise, you don't have a melee weapon to really fight back with. If you're playing Spiky, you got, like, the popcorn gun. Your Shorty's got the boxing gloves, obviously, but you're just a little limited in melee as clowns. It's gonna take It's gonna take teamwork. I honestly think it might take more teamwork to be successful in Killer Clowns than it does TCM. That's kind of what my gut's telling me. It's a different type of play style, but like you're gonna have to work together.
Yeah, I agree.
I what my concern with it, which is based on the combat we experienced, uh, one on one with the clown, humans were kind of taking the dubs in those, depending on weapons you have. The whole game, it's got this like looter shooter vibes. You have to find good weapons. In order to actually kill a clown, you can put a clown down all you want, but to actually kill the clown, you need a gun or you need a sharp object to stab their nose. And that's not going to happen all the time. So you're not going to constantly be killing clowns over and over and over again. But just depending on what weapon you have, it was kind of easy to do so.
Yeah, and each of your weapons or items have the I don't know what it's called, uses, I guess, a little use bar, and it goes down as you use it. So they do expire, they do run out. So you can't just hold on to a knife the whole game, and it's not a one time use either.
Yeah, I don't think a single player will be able to ever hold clowns hostage.
No.
I don't think that'll ever be the case. Not you could kind of do that type of stuff. I mean, even in Dead by Daylight, TCM, like there's certain things that allow you to kind of manipulate and bully the killer side. I don't see that happening from a solo queue perspective as a human. I think where because it's seven, you could have seven humans, and you can have a 10-man party, right? You can go up to 10 people in a party and go jump into a lobby and kind of have it be random. Um, if you get seven players who are working together to go against clowns, if they want to be bullies, I think they're going to be able to be bullies,
Yeah.
like pretty bad. Uh, so yeah, it's that part of the game that I'm still not sure of. I think it's going to be a really hard game to balance as a result of that, just because of having any combat system in an ASIM game where the humans can fight back. Really fun. It can be it can lead to a lot of bullying of killers, though. I mean, we saw with Jason. We saw in F13 what that was like when people could just beat. Nobody was scared of Jason, just beat the shit out of him.
Yep.
Um, I think it makes a little bit more sense in this game, though. To be fair, like they're clowns, they're alien clowns, but like they're not Jason Voorhees.
Yeah, like you should be running away from Jason Voorhees, but as we seen in the movie, they didn't really run away that yeah, it was pretty split between going after him and running away
Yeah,
cuz
yeah,
they're clowns.
they're clowns. So it's just a little bit different of a tone, and I will say they've done a really really good job of just capturing what is Killer Clowns. Like, I think if you're a fan of the movie, you're gonna instantly get it
Yep.
once you jump into the game. Like, you're gonna see the Easter eggs, you're gonna see the passion and love. I tell you, this game has been getting a little bit of flack on the trailers. Like, "Oh, man, this looks jank. This looks like it's on PS2." The game actually looks incredible.
Mhm.
Like, honest to God, it looks really, really good, and the models are amazing. I mean, just unbelievably accurate models. The human models are pretty stereotypical. They're just cheesy 80s looking characters, stereotypes. But man, the clowns are so spot on. You can see how much heart went into it. Honestly, it was just going through it before we even started playing, just going through the customization menu and looking at it, I was like, God damn, like they seriously put some heart into this.
Mhm. Mhm.
And speak on the same topic and the same conversation there. How did the game in and of itself run? How did it feel? How did it feel for you? Uh, play. Did you play on controller or did you play mouse and keyboard?
I played mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, how was that?
I'm not used to mouse and keyboard, but it was all right. It felt all right. I wish I would have had my controller up here. Um, but no, it seemed to run pretty fine. It was an older build, as we were told. It's not going to be what the live build is
Yeah,
on
we were on the
release.
same. Yeah, we were on the same build that they had at PAX.
Yeah, and yeah, they said they were letting us win. I don't know. I thought we were pretty good. Uh, but no, it's definitely something that is going to be fun to get used to, and we're probably going to be mostly playing on PlayStation. So getting that controller. Did you play on controller?
I played both. I said the first game I played mouse and keyboard, but I didn't like. there was a sensitivity thing I had going on.
Yes,
Um,
sensitivity was an issue. I didn't feel like it was worth it to change it at the time.
yeah, so you had to really dial in your settings. We didn't have enough time to really. I didn't want to waste that time doing that. But yeah, it feels pretty smooth. It's a very like responsive game. It's just, and then so I was when I was playing human, I was able to have a pretty solid looping session. You know, like it was me. I was the last human alive, and I was able to have a pretty successful movement, run away, and hitting windows, things like that. So I will say, if you're already thinking about that, you think about F-13 and Dead by Daylight type of style looping and running. It's there. It's there in Killer Clowns, and you can do it. There are a lot of things that can slow you down. Whether that's you're getting hit with the cotton candy ray guns, or if you're getting the lure ability. The lure ability is nasty, by the way. Like
Yes, it is.
it's going to be the meta for sure. People are going to be wanting to run that lure ability because you could be in the middle of a chase and you're just getting looped like crazy, and you just whip out the lure ability and you shut it down.
Yeah, I got the lure ability. I got him coming towards me. I never got close enough to give him a little whack because someone else came and disrupted me with that. But yeah, I could see how that becomes very OP one on one if there really is no one else in the area. That lure ability is gonna do some work.
It's even more so if you have a teammate with you. If you're in a
Mhm.
2-on-1 situation with a human, and yeah, one of you runs the lure ability, the other one goes and gets the damage in, or is even just using the cotton candy ray gun and can probably get them cocoon before they're really able to move again. Pretty pretty powerful. And that's I'm mentioning that because like we talked about the guns and things you can find as humans, and that you are powerful. Like you can really one on one with a clown with the right weapon. I think a human's going to win a lot of the times, but the clowns have their ability. And we only really got to take advantage of three different clowns. Like we didn't
Mhm.
get to go in to the rest, and we didn't have things unlocked. There's a lot of customization, a lot of it. It's already got significantly more than TCM has, in terms of the outfits you can wear and things you can change. We had the female clowns, things like that. Um, but the meta game didn't look too crazy.
Right.
That's the good news. To me,
Yeah.
that's good news to me. Like, yeah, I don't think you're gonna see builds where that make you insanely overpowered, like that where you take a level 20 player going against a level 1 player, and all of a sudden because they have perks, they're gonna absolutely dog on you.
It just doesn't it of course we very limited play and the game isn't even out yet. It didn't feel that way. It didn't feel like, okay, we're going to go in having, played a bit more
Mhm.
against people's whose first games it is. I don't think it's going to be a huge advantage.
Yeah, I think the only thing that it's movement, it's understanding movement and what weapons to look for, and then map knowledge. It's
Mhm.
map knowledge. Of course, there's a lot of RNG. A lot like you're not going to spawn and know instantly where certain escapes are, where certain parts are for escapes, things like that. But this is a really cool thing they have is the meeting point on the map, where if you gather as humans at this meeting point, you can see where all the escapes are laid out. You also it'll instantly give you solid weapons to start with, health, things like that.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. The meeting point when you're in the little vicinity of it, you can see where the escapes are. As soon as you leave that circle, they vanish and you have
Yep.
to remember where they are. And I think that's really cool. There's no waypoint that you can set or see at all times unless you have a compass. If you have
Yeah.
a compass, then it'll bring up where those escapes are on your map. But as soon as you put the compass away, stop using it, those fade back away and you got to just head that direction.
Yeah, and there's no like map. You can't just straight up pull up a map
Right.
on your screen and figure out where you're going. So that's pretty nice, and that's where like the players who have map knowledge and I've already kind of figured out the RNG in of itself, and that's going to be really big, and they know the best loot spots, things like that. It's actually that's a skill based thing. That's
Yep.
I have learned the game and I am better as a result versus I'm running a meta build, so I'm going to outperform you even though you're a better player than me.
Right.
I don't like when a perk makes you a good player versus actually just being get good at the game. And from what we've seen so far with Killer Clowns, I don't see a meta game that's going to result in broken shit like that. Just straight cheese. But at the same time, out of every ASIM game that I've played so far, this could change. Just in the way this game felt in our demo session of it, it feels the most casual. F13 was pretty damn casual for a while though. But you know, the competitive and sweating and really trying to be successful in these games is a mindset. So I think the biggest thing to encourage when going in this game is like go in with a casual mindset because that's what this game is going to want you to do.
Yeah, obviously there will be some tryhards, some sweats that are gonna try to figure out metas or whatever, or just bully people, and that's gonna be in every game you play.
Yeah,
But
yeah, it's gonna happen. But I think it's both sides to that. It's like it's so you be ready to lose at the
e-
same time.
it's a game.
Um,
You can lose.
yeah,
That's fine.
be ready to it's one of those things because it's gonna be a hard game to balance, and it's a question of how far do you want to balance it. It's out of all the ASIM games, this is the one where I'm like, how clown sided do we want it to be? Because usually that's what I would encourage. Like I would want TCN to be family sided. I would want Dead by Daylight to be killer sided. That's what ASIM is, dude. Like
Yep.
look up the definition of asymmetrical. That's the point. This is one of those games where an actual 50-50 split would feel nice, I think.
I think I agree. I think that's, yeah, maybe more like 60-40 to clowns, but I think, yeah, 50-50 in this kind of game is fair enough.
Yeah, yeah. I think it has the potential to be a really casual, fun experience and remain that arcadey type tone of the 80s.
Did we talk about the as when you die as a human, what you can do while you're waiting?
No, that's the last point I really have. Yeah, the if you die as a human, Killer Clowns has changed it up for finally something to do rather than just sit around and spectate. You play mini games, just fun little arcade style mini games, whether it's like whack a mole or matching colors, things like that. You play games where you get cards as you win games. You get cards, and you'll get like baseball bats out of it, or food items like health items, things like that, and you can give those to the player you're spectating, or you can keep it for yourself. Where if you were to be revived, you instantly spawn with those items back in your inventory.
Yeah. Oh, that was so cool, and to see that, it was just such I keep saying it, breath of fresh air. It's just
Yeah,
something new, something to keep you engaged while you're waiting to be revived and actually be able to help your team, set your team up and yourself up for when you do get revived to whoop ass and escape.
yeah. That's something that I want to continue to see in some way, shape, or form in all future ASIM games. Like just something to do while spectating, and to act to even when you're dead, even if you don't get respawned at all, you still can help your teammate escape. And man, we were watching it happen in real time. Where like you were still alive and I was dead, and I was like feeding you items over and over again to keep fighting back against clowns, whether it
Yep.
was baseball bats or knives or whatever. That's super cool. Like that could make or break a game. So it encouraged you to stick around and spectate.
Yeah, you don't just, DC as soon as you start dying.
Yeah, right. It's not just a miserable experience if you die in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Uh, and you breath of fresh air. That's what you just said. A breath of fresh air for that. This game, it's been like heavily compared to F13, and it's got some of that, right? It's got some of that feel to it, similar movement, things like that. I mean, there's literally a fucking boat escape, right? Uh, but it still it still is a breath of fresh air. It feels very different. It's still its own unique game that is not going to just die right away, I don't think, because it is original. It's still its own game. You're not going to be like, "Oh, I played Killer Clowns. This is just like Dead by Daylight. I'm just going to go back to Dead by Daylight." I don't think so. I think it's something that's going to be able to fall right in line with other ASIM games you're playing. If you like TCM, you played a few hours, you burnt out, whatever, then tomorrow you can jump into Killer Clowns instead, and you go back and forth in it and things like that. So it has the ability to do that in your lineup.
Yeah, yeah. even yeah, you can these games can live alongside each other. You can play all of them. There's not one to rule them all. It's fun, it's gaming, it's community, it's horror, it's campy, it's fun.
Yeah, I'll see if the community thinks so when it actually comes out. Which now it's a week away. Week away from early access. Pre-orders are still up there now, and you start playing on the 28th. And I genuinely think, especially because it's a $40 game. You can get the deluxe edition for 60, but uh, it's something that I'm very much looking forward to getting back into, and it's something I think is not going to like die off very quickly. I think it's going to fit right into your gameplay lineup, and assuming they continue to support it, like I fully trust Illfonic to do at this point. I mean, like they still support Predator, dude. Like they're out here still supporting Predator. Killer Clowns, I think, is in a much better position than Predator was at launch. Like already.
100%. 100%. Yeah.
I don't want to rake the game out of 10 or anything like that. We didn't have enough. We'll do that again. We'll do a proper full review when we played the game, played the both maps that are there, got to run all the characters, etc. Just right now, just as all I want to make clear is that from our experience playing, I see a ton of potential here, and I think it's worth you checking out.
Absolutely.
I also think it's gonna be a fun game to watch. That some games are not very streamable.
Evil
I
Dead the
think
game, very
yes.
fun to play, but it just wasn't that fun to watch in my opinion and in a lot of people's opinions.
Yeah, when it's basically just when the combat, even though you are being skillful in your combat and how you dodge, etc., it just looks like the same damn thing over and over again to anyone watching it. I don't think that will be the case at all, just because of the amount of unique items and the way combat works and the types of escapes you can do, etc. It's certainly not a linear experience. I should have said that earlier. With the biggest downfall of ASIM games is when you're stuck, when you have to go point, whatever you like in the same straight line of objectives. Predator has this is a huge flaw in Predator.
Last year,
Last year, right? It's like, yeah, grab this, put this here, do this, put this here, in this order, nothing else. Killer Clowns doesn't have that. It's like, hey, 4 escapes are out there, items are out there too. Find the shit, work together, don't work together, whatever. It's up to you. Um, that's why it's going to have more replayability. I And the maps are pretty big too. Bigger than I thought, because they said they cut back on the maps, and I was like, oh man, if it's too small, we're gonna learn them very quickly. We're gonna get bored with them. But because of the RNG and they're still pretty big maps, I'm not too worried there. But they're only launching with 2 maps, so
yeah.
yeah. Hopefully they like I don't know. TCM is giving me a little bit of PTSD in that regard, because we're like 9 months in with only 2 new maps. I don't know. Yeah, you probably need quarterly maps, is what I would think.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I feel Illfonic can do it.
I hope so. We'll see. It's too early to call on those types of things. How quickly content will be dropped, etc. But there will be a point when the maps get old. You need more to balance it out. So hopefully they get more maps in there quickly. But that's it. That's our thoughts on Killer Clowns so far on our quick little demo preview. Again, coming out the 28th, early access, June 4th for its actual release. But hey, let us know if you're scooping up Killer Clowns. Let us know in the comments below. But that's going to wrap up this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. And of course, as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.